Do you know that, despite Tesla's stock volatility in the current stock market, billionaire investor Ron Barron maintains his bullish outlook? Stay tuned to learn more about his claims that investing in Tesla stock will yield a 700% return, despite the fact that Tesla has dropped by almost 40% so far this year. Investment legend Ron Barron of Barron Capital is still optimistic about the company. Barron has owned Tesla since 2012. Even before the company's stock reached all-time highs, the auto industry baron, whose fund has already profited $6 billion from its initial investment in Tesla, predicted that the shares would rise sharply over the next 10 years. American businessman and mutual fund manager Ron Barron founded Barron Capital, an asset management company committed to fostering growth solutions for equity investment. During a recent CNBC interview, according to Barron, he anticipates Tesla will generate enormous profits that will eventually raise the company's capitalization to almost $4.5 trillion. For Tesla, which is presently valued at $670 billion, to hit Barron's estimate, it would need to increase by 57% from its current levels. Goals since acquiring a share in the firm in 2014 through both his own holdings and his client holdings at Barron Capital, the billionaire has been an enthusiastic supporter of Tesla. As of November 2022, his total interest in the company is valued at over $4 billion. Furthermore, despite the turmoil surrounding Elon Musk's new Twitter venture, Barron isn't done placing bets on the Tesla CEO. Together, we have generated a sizable profit with him. A total of 19 funds managed by Barron's firm oversee nearly $40 billion in assets. Several of these have placed large bets on Tesla, including the $700 million Barron Focused Growth Fund and the $6 billion Barron Partners Fund. These funds have returned 31% and 23% so far this year, respectively, but given the massive rally in Tesla stock in 2020 and 2021, they boast strong long-term gains. Barron added that Tesla makes up about 40% of his Barron's Partners Fund. Over the last 5 years and 10 years, the Barron Partners Fund has generated an average net annualized return of more than 25%. It was the first time since 2019 that the company was able to host its annual gathering. Barron Fund's portfolio managers Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter CEO Elon Musk even made a surprise appearance and was interviewed by Barron on stage. Barron told Forbes in an interview prior to hosting his investment conference last month. Ron Barron and his many retiree investors gathered for the Barron Investment Conference with nearly 5,000 investors and members of the media packing the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. Additionally, Barron has shared his excitement for Tesla stock. I estimate that by 2025, it will be between 500 and 600, and in 8 to 10 years, we should be at about $4.5 trillion. According to Barron, he concurs with Musk's previous remarks that Tesla would surpass Apple and Saudi Aramco combined, implying a valuation of more than $4 trillion. The figures underlying Barron's optimistic appraisal of the target is based only on the assumption that Tesla will scale its business dramatically over the next 10 years, selling roughly 20 million cars annually. As of right now, Tesla is expected to sell slightly more than 1 million cars in 2022. If he sells 20 million automobiles annually at $50,000 each in 2030, he will have brought in $1 trillion. His operating earnings will come in at about 30%. Barron clarified, adding that you may reach $4.5 trillion by multiplying the $300 billion in operational income by 15 times. It should be emphasized that neither robots nor driverless cars were included in Barron's calculations. The long-term picture for Tesla appears quite favorable for just cars, even if it is assumed that FSD will remain in place. In addition, Tesla has a respectable auto business, and most people are willing to wager that the company's AI capabilities will increase its addressable market by a significant amount, even in the absence of autonomous vehicles. As a result, Tesla's valuation is expected to look good in 8 to 10 years. As previously mentioned during a pre-event interview with Forbes during the Barron Investment Conference in November, Barron expressed his belief that Tesla could become the most profitable and largest company in the world in a decade. Tesla stated that they have a goal of 20 million vehicles by 2030, and he seems to think that this will be possible to achieve. Barron also believes that Tesla will have to work really hard to guarantee the success of that goal by creating a lower-priced model that is less than $30,000. Tesla's shares have dropped by about 50% since the start of the year, but the automaker still owns about 45% of one of Barron's largest funds. Barron stated in the interview that Barron Capital has 19 funds with a combined asset value of about $40 billion, many of which have significant investments in Tesla. The Barron Partners Fund has invested $6 billion in the automaker, and the Barron Focused Growth Fund has approximately 700 million shares of Tesla in its portfolio. The two funds have declined by about 31% and 23% in 2022, respectively, but Barron notes that they still have high longer-term gains. Additionally, the Barron Partners Fund has returned more than 25% of an average net annualized. Barron launched the company 40 years ago on the about 21 dip in the S&P 500 index, so he is also no stranger to bear markets. A year ago, Barron observed there were plenty of possibilities to purchase cheaply. However, today he continued equities are extremely cheap, and many growth stocks have been severely impacted by rising interest rates. Barron acknowledged that there have been difficult times when the markets have fallen and everything is red, but that is when his buy and hold philosophy is more crucial than ever. His funds, which normally have very low turnover, have continued to buy at the right times and have only sold when the fundamentals have changed or if we needed to rebalance the portfolio. He clarified that the companies we invest in should profit and grow despite the chaos because eventually the markets will stabilize. Barron further predicted that by the end of 2024, stocks would likely bounce back to where they were in November 2021 and double every 5 to 10 years. According to filings, Barron Capital is among the top 20 shareholders of Tesla, allocating 11% of its portfolio to the company's shares, which is comparatively higher than most other investors. Although Barron acknowledged that this year has been difficult for both his funds and Tesla, he also called it relative, stating that because of our low turnover and excellent long-term record, investors are willing to be patient and give us some leeway. Ultimately, funds total about 5 or 6% allocated for Tesla. Tesla's bulls highlighted the company's rapid rise in sales and manufacturing while also projecting that the automaker will be able to increase its profit margins going forward. Notably, Tesla has continued to significantly increase the number of vehicles it produces and delivers. For the quarter that ended on September 30th, 2022, the EV company reported 343,000 deliveries, up from just over 250,000 a year earlier. In addition, Tesla's quarterly revenue surpassed $21 billion, an increase of more than 50% from the same period the previous year. Barron money. Over the past few years, CEO Ron Barron has also made significant investments in Elon Musk's privately held rocket company, SpaceX. When SpaceX attained an evaluation of more than $125 billion in May, the firm invested roughly $500 million in earlier investment rounds, including $100 million earlier this year. Whenever SpaceX comes along, I buy more. Barron continued, stating that it has incredible potential and that he believes the company will probably approach a $150 billion valuation in the upcoming investment round. The billionaire investor predicted that the manufacturer of electric cars may generate $1 trillion in revenue by 2030 in an interview with CNBC in 2020. It's better than a 50/50 chance, in my opinion, to be a $500 billion battery and $500 billion car industry. The multi-billionaire, despite a 50% decline in Tesla shares in 2022, a buy and hold investor stated, I give that maybe 80 chance because it could be a $60 billion company in 3 years. Barron remained optimistic about the future profitability of his company's position and said, if I could, I would buy more. For additional content on Tesla stocks, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.